Good morning and welcome. It's Friday the 30th of September. I am Flat Cap Callum. I'm back and I'm hoping you are all very, very well. Alright, Friday the 30th of September. It's the last day of the month. I've been away for 8 days, so no videos for 8 days. I'm back today. Normal gig. We are £30 today for a Friday. Steak and a half is what we're going to do. I'll be honest, I was mildly tempted to not come back because I was enjoying myself immensely. I've been away, had a nice week in Greece. Sun, bit of tennis, bit of running, bit of cycling. I was in a kayak for about 8 minutes before I seized up completely. So yeah, very enjoyable week. But I'm back to do videos. So we've got today's bets coming up. I was going to originally do a review of like 9 days ago, but it just feels like too long ago. All I will say is the last day before I was off, it was ended up being 23.80 on because I did a miscalculation. So it wasn't 25, it was 23.80 on, which is 21.06 back. So we lost a couple of quid, and we ended last week for the 3 days we did bets down £29. In the context of the month, even with today's bets, we're guaranteed to come out the month £4.50 ahead. So even if we lose all of it today, so it's been a great month because we had a particularly well, we had a couple of good days, but one standout day. So that really helped. So, and I think, as I recall, on that standout day, I think most people ended up potentially better off than the channel anyway. So 450 is what the channel's up. Hopefully most people are up more than that. Whilst I've been away, I've put a few bits in comments with kind of mixed results. I think the first day I put 4, one was a non-runner, that left 3, one, but that ginger jamming, it won at 28-1. I think the second day I put up 5, and one got beaten a short head at 28-1, and the others weren't so good. And then I think I might have put up 6 and had a 16-1 winner and a place, but the others weren't so good. So it was all sort of mixed stuff. I had Uzo placed in the Cambridgeshire, but the Cesarovic Mighty Blue was one out the placings. Otherwise, that would have been a really nice combination double on that one. And then the last couple of days, I think I've put a couple of bits up that haven't been so good. Overall, I've had a look at the horses while I've been away, and yeah, I certainly don't feel like I've missed any bonanza day if I'd been doing videos. So just to reassure you, we haven't missed out on anything massive. I think there'd be days when we would have been up a bit, days would be down a bit. Certainly volume wise, I would have come out with a lot of volume this week, but I think the challenge would have been, I'm not convinced if the way I would have configured the bets for the channel that I'd have had enough stuff together. So yeah, so horse reading form I feel like is okay at the moment, but we haven't missed anything big. I think we've probably been about break even if we'd done bets. One thing I did discover though, which is a handy top tip. Not been to Greece for a while, and it's obviously a popular destination for a lot of people, and a lot of people kind of think they can't put bets on. So when you go abroad, each bookie has complete different terms and conditions about which countries you can place bets on and not others. Sky bets are particularly restrictive. So for those of you who are following the channel kind of prescriptively on Sky Bet, it does make it a little bit more challenging, and you usually have to go through a VPN link to do it. I have discovered a backdoor way. It works for Greece. I don't know if it does for others. So, if I use Greece as an example, some bookies work fine. So you can put bets on with Bet365 or Paddy Power whilst you're in Greece. With Sky Bet, it wouldn't work in Greece. But if you go through the Racing Post app and you log into the Racing Post app, you can actually put bets on through a Sky Bet account through Racing Post, and it allows you to do it. So as much as the Sky Bet app doesn't work, and Sporting Life app doesn't work because they're supported on the same platform, so you can't even read Sporting Life form or news for those of you who like doing that. You can go through the Racing Post app, log in, and you can place bets on a Sky Bet account without having to use a VPN. So hopefully that is helpful, because it's something I learned. I was having a bit of a fiddle with different things. I wasn't putting stuff on through any Sky Bets account. I did do a few bits while I was away, but yeah, it's a handy tip for anyone who's going abroad. It is different for each country, so you need to look for each bookmaker, and I'll be honest, I haven't got enough time in my life to although it would be helpful for people to go through each bookie's terms and conditions and tell you which countries it works for or not. What I might do maybe for next summer season is maybe look at the key hotspots for Spain and Greece and Turkey and flag it for anybody who wants to do them. But anyway, that's that. So ahead of today's tips, what I would say as well, where I left it, I left the channel 32% up for horses across all bets since the channel started, and 27.5 all sports because the golf has been a massive letdown recently. So the golf is on pause at the moment in the naughty corner somewhere because it's done my nutting. So let's get to today's bets because that's what probably people want to hear. What will I say about today's bets? I've got 5 bets, stake and a half, 3 lucky 15s, 1 each way Trixie, and I've got a combination bet. And on paper I thought it would look quite a good day, and then I started going through it and I was really disappointed with the value. But then I got to the last 3 races at Dundalk, and that's where I am leaning on. So I've only got 3 horses full stop running in England today. I think it's what have I got? Got a Hexham and 2 Ascots. That's it. Everything else is Gorham Park and Dundalk, but I'm leaning quite a lot on the last 3 races at Dundalk. I think there's some real value in those races. So where are we starting? And bookmaker dependency is different today, so each bet is a bit different. Starting off here, so we've got 2 o'clock Ascot, Abel Kane, 12-1. On paper, it looked like a good race, and I've gone Abel Kane, but it's not a strong Abel Kane choice. So 2 o'clock Abel Kane, he'll probably go and win by 6 lengths now. But yeah, that's the one I've gone with. 7:30 Dundalk, Harbour Acre, 9-1. 8 o'clock Dundalk, International Lady, 22-1, and 8:30 Dundalk, Dalvey, 18-1. 20p each way, lucky 15. Sky is best because they're an extra place on most of the races, not Paddy Power. I say not Paddy Power because they are only 3 places on the 2 o'clock at Ascot. So if you're doing multiple bets on different accounts, do not put this bet on with Paddy Power. If that's your only choice, it's okay. But if you've got the choice, don't put this specific bet on with Paddy Power. It's not saying Paddy Power bad today, just the 2 o'clock at Ascot is where you don't want to be putting it on in multiples. Bet 2. This is Sky is best, and then it's pretty much straight across the board. So as long as you're getting bog, so if you're not using Sky, use a bookie paying bog, which is a harder minefield to do. Online, it's a bit easier. In shop, it's a bit of a minefield. 225 Hexham, as long as that stays 8 runners, I'm happy with that. But even if it went 7, I still think that's okay. Keep Coming, 13-2. Then the 455 Ascot, Almar, we've taken that before, 10-1. And then 2 at Dundalk, 7:30 Dundalk, Chevillon, 20-1. At 8 o'clock Dundalk, Chummy, 25-1. 20p each way, lucky 15. I've just got a little double and a bit left over, so I've done little double on Keep Coming and Almar. So yeah, not big prizes on those 2, but just about okay with that. Then this is my lucky 15 for Gorham Park. Place terms 365 and Paddy are best. Either one of those, whichever's giving you the best prices. Coral next best. So I'm flagging that specifically because Sky are 4th best bookie for this, because those 3 will give you, well, the top 2 will give you better place terms overall. Coral is about same as Sky bet, although it's on different races, but you'll get best price guaranteed with those bookies. So 242 Flyaway Maggie 14s, 317 Grin 13-2, 427 Guri 6-1. That's the only one at the moment. Sky are 5 and the others are 4, whereas the others are 5 on some of them and Sky are 4. I think it's Grin and No Caith to back in the 502. Those races are now 4 places with Sky. It keeps changing because the non-runners. They're 4 with Sky, but they're 5 with 365 and Paddy. And Coral's terms are a bit different. So it does get a bit confusing. So that is your 4 at Gorham Park. 20p each way, lucky 15. That's bet 3. Then bet 4 is kind of my... I wanted to include it, but they're bigger prices that... They're just on the edge. So for those of you like side markets, I kind of wanted to put this bet on. It's just borderline worth doing. But if you like a side bet market, so extra place markets and stuff, I wanted to flag that these are the three that I would be looking at today. Paddy and Betfred are your best online. If you're getting bogged with Betfred, they are best for this. 352 Gorham Park, Island Mahee, 33 to 1. I rate that horse about third or fourth best. So if it over kind of achieves, it could well make the first two, which it needs to because it's a 7-runner race. I'd say I'd put it at probably fourth best. 537 Gorham Park. That's it. Forget about it. That's right. We've got to remember. It looks ridiculous, that name, but forget about it. 50 to 1. The reason it's Paddy and Betfred, because that 537 they're paying 4 places. And since I did the video, that's now 66 to 1. So you can get 4 places 66 to 1 with Paddy or Betfred. For the channel, I've got 50s 3 places with Sky. And again, it's one of them ones, I can kind of see that horse really, it looks to me like it's a top 6 horse. So it could well look at coming in third or fourth if it does well. And then the 8:30 Dundalk, Cirque Royale, 33 to 1. 4 places on Sky, and I think it's probably 3 with the others. But overall, therefore I made that bet better because you're going to get best price guaranteed on those with Paddy and Betfred. Hopefully that makes it clear. 20p each way Trixie, so that's each way doubles and trebles, 20p's, and I've done 40p each way singles on those 3. That's that one. And then the last one is the combination bet. Sky are best, and then any bookie paying bog, because Sky are basically 1 extra place on all those 3 races. Everywhere else is the same terms, so you need to make sure if you're not with Sky, you're getting a bookie that's paying best price guaranteed. But these are my 3 best races, particularly the last 2. So 7:30 Harbonacre and Chevillon, so that's 9s and 20s. 8 o'clock International Lady at 22s, Chummy at 25s. 8:30 Dalvey at 18s and Cirque Royale 33s. So I've done this as 15p each way doubles and trebles. So if you put all 6 in your bet slip, it's 15p each way doubles and trebles. So that makes it up to £6. If you're in a betting shop, if you're writing out the slip, you can write it like that. So it's 8 times trebles and 12 times doubles. That makes it £6. And then I've done the forecast. I don't do forecasts very often on the channel, and I don't do them loads outside. And I've talked about this a few times. There's certain conditions that I would need to think it's a viable forecast. And I'm just going to be really straight with this. And it's not to say that like this, it's going to work out like this. The bottom race is one of the few that I get through the year that hits my criteria. That is a forecast race for me, because the number of runners, the price of the horses, the vulnerability of the ones at the top of the market, that is a forecast race for me. So Dalvey and Cirque Royale, that would be a forecast every day. Second race here, International Lady and Chummy, the prices are there. The vulnerability is there, but there's just a few too many runners, so it's not got the runners to make it in there. But I've done it anyway because it's hitting the other criteria, and I thought just for a bit of symmetry, I've done that one. The first one, that's the one where I could have basically just done 2 forecasts, and I just made it easier basically right in there. So if you don't want to do the forecast on there, and I was like, if I leave it out now, that's the one that will come in. But it doesn't hit my criteria in terms of there's too many horses, and prices. It's just on the borderline, and I think that race is a bit too more competitive than the other 2. So yeah, it's definitely the weaker one. That's the one that I would be doing the forecast on mainly, and then the second one. Talking in riddles, hopefully it makes sense. I'm just trying to be honest and say that I don't put those forecasts at equal value because I don't do them very often. And I thought I was going to do the bottom one definitely. Then the middle one I was like, it's worth doing. And then I was like, just for symmetry, I'll make it even and I'll do it all of them. I could have put the other 50p somewhere else. I've done it like that. Hopefully that's clear. 750. If you do it with Sky Bet, you have to put the combinations on and then go into each race and select the forecast differently because that's the way they do it. For other bookmakers, you might be able to put all 6 selections in and do the forecast at the same time. So things like Paddy let you do that normally. The other thing with forecasts is worth the flag is because bookmakers don't see them as profitable bets in the long run, it's a helpful thing to put on your account at times. So I know this might sound a bit dumb, but you can open up an account and chuck in £10,000 and really go for it over the course of a few days, and you could easily have that account closed if that's the kind of money you're rolling with and you're spending. If you are a casual punter, which is who normally historically might have lost, or you make a couple of quid but not a lot, that's who I'm aiming this channel for. Then if you start to turn a profit long term by changing what you're doing or following some of the things I'm doing on here, to put these sort of bets on, it's kind of what you would describe as a mug bet. It's a bet that bookmakers don't care about. They don't think they're very good. And having some of those bets on your account mixed in with some of the other bets that they're less keen on is a helpful thing, because it flags you as somebody who is not just solely looking at every single one of the best opportunities. And hopefully that makes sense. I'm hopefully trying to be clear but speaking in mild code. So they're helpful even if they lose most of the time. But long term, that's the kind of one that I would be going for. All right. Oh, I knew it would be a long one when I first day back, but I feel like I've chunted on a lot there. Right, I'm leaving it there. So just a quick recap for the next few days. Tomorrow's video, I'll be on tomorrow's video. And I think what I'm probably going to do is I'll do tomorrow morning's video, Saturday morning, and then because I've got the London Marathon on Sunday, not doing a video Sunday, I think I might do a fairly quick one Saturday evening for Sunday's racing, mainly focused at Longshot because it's the Arc de Triomphe. I've already had a good look through the Arc de Triomphe, and I've picked out my shortlist of 4, so I'm waiting to see what the place terms do. But there's definitely a few much bigger prices that I'm having a look at. So at the moment, just to give you an idea, I'm not saying put these bets on now with the current place terms, but Bubble Gift, I think it's about 66 is 80 in places. That looks like a viable one. And Moshtadaf, it's the Gosden horse, about 40s and 50s is available at the moment. Those two, and there's a couple of more shorter ones, but those two at the moment, I'm just going to wait and see what place terms. If we start to get 6 places in places or 5 across the board, that's when I'd start looking at those bets. So tomorrow I'll do a video like usual, and then Sunday evening I'll try and do a little video. I need to get to bed early, to be fair. So I'll try and do an mid-evening video, get it done by 10 hopefully, with a bit of Sunday bets. Then there'll be no video on Sunday, and then I'll be back on Monday morning. So Saturday morning, Saturday evening, Monday morning. They're the next 3 videos. All right, I'll leave it there. Last thing before I go, so this isn't like the longest video ever. Just want to say I put up things in the comments to sort of for people to have a chat with over the last while I've been off, and just put the headers. And I've been bowled over about just the cool vibe that's been going on there. I thought it might end up being the odd person putting a few things on there, but every day there's been a lot of chatter about people sharing tips and selections and supporting each other. I'm just super humbled that the environment has been created where people can just do that and feel that that's a nice thing to do. Brilliant. So I appreciate it's not for everyone. Some people just want the video or want my tips, but in terms of like a bit of a community thing going on, it was really lovely because it massively surpassed my expectations. So well done to you all for being lovely folk. All right, I'll be back in the morning. Thanks very much. Cheerio. Bye bye.